You know when you tell your friend that you should start a podcast? That's what we did. Hi, my name is Tati.
And my name is Esme.
This is the Soul and Sips podcast.
Come and have a sip with us.
Hello.
Hello. We're back.
Just a week passed.
A week passed. How was your week?
It was nice. I actually passed. It went so fast though.
Yeah, for me too, honestly.
I feel that we recorded last episode like yesterday.
Yeah.
But now I'm better. I'm healthier. I think so.
You do sound better than the last.
Yeah, I'm still
than the
coughing
last
a
one.
little bit. But I was joking with my parents saying that I'm gonna be coughing for the rest of my life. So
Oh, it sounds so sad.
yeah, the coughing is still there. It's gonna be there forever. So,
Yeah.
but I will cut it out.
Hey.
How are
Yes.
you?
Good. I had a nice week.
It went too fast. I don't know.
It
like-
went super fast. I had a lot of fun things. Like I finished up like booking all the things for our holiday. We're gonna go on a long holiday. So I'm very excited about that. And it's a little bit related to today's topic, but we're coming to
a
it
little
later.
bit. Yeah.
No, but my week was really nice. I had a concert on Tuesday
Oh,
night.
yeah, I saw that.
Yeah,
So
we
cute.
had a poetry night or like an open mic on Monday.
Yeah, on Monday with like a friend of us. Two friends were reading poetry.
It was really
cute.
really
It was
cute.
Really nice.
I loved it.
Yeah.
For the rest, I didn't do much.
Yeah. I also
Work.
need to like chill because I was out on Monday and I was also out on Wednesday. I went with my Argentinian friend.
Oh yeah, of course.
I went,
yeah.
we have this like Mexican spot that we always go
Oh,
to.
that's so nice.
So we went there, have
Yeah.
a drink, and then we went and I saw a movie.
Oh,
Chill,
which
nice.
movie did you go?
The one from Timothy Chalamet.
Ah,
Chalamet. Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
It's a nice movie.
What does that mean?
I don't want to be controversial. It's a good movie, but it's kind of like, it's like flat. Like there is no
Much happening?
much happening.
Oh, okay.
It is a nice movie to watch, but I was kind of like, I don't know. I feel that maybe we also broken that we need to have like a something dramatic and then the solution, and this is just kind of like just the story of him,
Yeah.
Bob Dylan. So it's okay. It was nice.
Interesting. Maybe I'll watch it.
Yeah, I was surprised that he was singing.
Hmm.
Like I knew he could sing, but I was like
He
kind of
had this
surprised.
other musical movie.
Yeah, the
Wonka.
Willy Wonka.
Yeah.
Did you watch that one?
Yeah, with my family.
Yeah.
But my family doesn't really like musical movies. So we also didn't know it was a musical. So when we got there, we were all like, "Aye."
No, I didn't know it had that much. I didn't know it was a musical. I knew
No.
it had music,
Yeah.
but not as much. So I was surprised about that.
It
But I
had a lot.
like it. My
Yeah.
sister also loved it. Like after that, I watched it with my family.
Hmm.
My sister was just singing that and stuff, like as she does. And then also we
Cute.
watched Wicked, and then oh my god, that woman. She is a theater kid without being a theater kid.
Cute.
She
I
will
love that.
appreciate my comments about her for sure.
Oh, funny.
But what is the topic today?
Well, first the sip of the day. Now that you grabbed it.
Today we just have red wine.
Red wine.
Because it's
It's Friday.
yeah,
Friday,
and we
yay.
deserve it.
We just cheers.
Cheers. And you look at each other when you do cheers.
Mm.
I don't know where
In
that
the
comes from.
Netherlands.
I honestly don't know where. I just heard people saying that like that you have to do it.
Yeah,
But
you
I
have
don't
to
know
do
where
it.
that comes from.
I don't know where it comes from, but I know that in the Netherlands it's really a thing. Like you have to do it.
You have to look at each other like when you
Yeah.
cheers,
Yeah.
or else you have
7 years of bad sex.
and we don't want that.
We don't want that.
My mom don't listen to this.
Funny.
So yeah.
But the topic of today,
Yeah.
like I already said, it has to do a little bit with traveling. It
Yeah.
has to do with traveling a little bit.
Yeah, because we love traveling.
yeah. I think we already covered like some things about
Yeah.
traveling, right?
Yeah.
But there's always more to tell.
There's plenty of stories. And
Exactly.
that's why we started a podcast.
Yay! Yeah, no, but like I said, we have been planning a holiday.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, one of the things, like I wanted to take Javi really badly to Asia because I have studied there, blah, blah. And so I had to, think about where we had to think about where he could go with his
Yeah.
passport.
Mm-hmm.
Because I Yeah, I honestly never realized it was, you know, that big
A
of a
thing.
thing.
Yeah,
And so today's topic is passport privileges.
yeah, because you don't know you have it until you have to deal with it.
Yeah, exactly.
And we were discussing, like I always told you, like I have need a visa for a lot of places.
Yeah.
So I know the whole thing, and then for me, when I'm booking a trip somewhere, that's my first thought.
Yeah.
It's like, can I go there without visa? And if I need a visa, how long is it gonna take me to get it? Because
Yeah.
it's really, sometimes it takes too long, and sometimes it's not that much.
Yeah.
And it really pissed me off that it's like, they judge me because I'm from Colombia, but also I haven't lived there for almost 10 years.
Yeah, it's crazy, yeah?
And it's like, ugh, especially certain countries. Like, I can tell my story about the visa for the US. So I live in the US for 5 years, but I have a student visa. And when you have a student visa, it's really easy.
Yeah.
Because you're there for a student and they won't like do anything about it. Like
Yeah.
it's really easy. But after that, I moved here, and then I still wanted to like get the tourist visa, so I can just go there anytime. Like I still have friends and all that. So I tried to get it, and that was, I think, 2021. So it was after a little COVID, so it was still a lot of like busy. The embassies were busy, but I make my appointment. So my process for my visa for the States is you have to fill up like a formulary of like, I don't know, 30 more pages of questions. And it's like, are you a criminal? Have you been in jail? Have you trafficked, blah, blah, blah.
whoa.
Like it's a bunch of questions and
Yeah.
about your life, your family, blah, blah, it's a bunch of questions. You fill up that, they give you like a code, and then you make an appointment to the embassy. And that was when the problem was, because that appointment, there was nothing when I was getting the visa. It was like over a year that they had that appointment. So I had to wait a year to make that appointment
Whoa.
to go to the embassy. And when you make that, it's like an interview, and they ask you like, oh, where are you going, why are you going, who's paying for your trip, blah blah blah, like those kind of questions. They asked me that when I was applying for the student visa. Kind of like, oh,
yeah.
where are you going, where are you studying, who's paying for your school, blah blah blah, what do your parents do, blah blah blah. For this one, I literally went there, gave my passport to the person. The guy was like, oh, you live there, where did you go to study? So I told him, oh, I went to this university. And he was like, oh, so you're going to visit friends? I was like, yeah, okay. That was it.
And you were like,
I was
oh
like,
gosh.
I waited a whole year for this.
Yeah, exactly.
And they take my passport and they put the visa in like a week. I have
That's
a passport back.
crazy, yeah?
Yeah.
But all
waiting
these constraints.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then even the interview, I'm like, yeah, I live there. Why am I supposed to do, like, of course I want to go back.
Yeah, of course.
So that's really annoying, but I got it. And the lucky thing is I have the visa for 10 years.
Oh, that is really nice. So
Yeah.
you don't have to redo it every
Yeah,
single time.
and like I had to renew my passport. So now, but that visa is still valid in the old passport.
Oh.
And I don't need to get another visa if I change my passport.
Oh, that's
like
good.
that was another thing I have to Google.
Yeah.
I was like, oh my god, I need to change the passport. Do I need to do the whole thing again? But as long as the visa is valid,
Yeah.
I just need to carry both passports when I go there, and it's fine.
Yeah, exactly.
But it's very annoying.
Yeah, I can imagine, honestly. Yeah, and I was thinking also, like, what makes a passport strong? You know?
Yeah.
Because I like I said shortly before, like I didn't really have an awareness about it. And so before the episode, we kind of looked up the list of like the strongest passports, and then there's like a ranking on Passport Index.
Yeah,
something.
The
on
first
the website.
link when you Google that.
And like the Netherlands and like a lot of Dutch countries are on the third.
Yeah.
And then your Colombia was on the
28.
28,
Yeah.
and Cuba was on 68.
68. Yeah.
So that's very big
Yeah.
difference, you know, both of them. But,
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, like I was surprised that mine was like higher.
yeah, yeah.
Like I was
And
surprised
I
about
also was just curious. Okay, what is it based on? So it's based on, you know, how many countries you can visit without a visa, how many countries you can visit with a visa on arrival,
that. Yeah.
and how many countries you need a visa for.
Yeah.
So
And-
that's basically what makes a passport strong.
Yeah, and also the deals that each country has with other countries,
Yeah.
because that's how you ask for visas. Like, oh, the government, makes a deal, whatever, and that's how they ask for visa or no visa.
Yeah.
So the more the country, let's say, for example, Colombia, of course, is not a very rich country. It's like a third world country. So, of course, there is more immigration happening. Like, there's people that want to leave the country, to leave
Yeah.
to another countries. So that's why there's more requirements for visas, so they can control that. Otherwise, every government, they could just go anywhere and
Yeah.
live anywhere. So that also, that's something that makes a passport stronger.
Yeah.
But also, it is a little annoying that even entering a country, like when I go to the States and I give my passport, it feels like they're already looking at me like I'm a criminal.
Yeah.
And I'm like, do I look like a criminal? Maybe. And then it's funny because usually when I go there, I fly from here because I live here. And they're like, oh, where you coming from? And I was like, oh, from Amsterdam. And they're like, oh, do you live there? And I was like, yes. And they're like, oh, okay. And they let me pass. It's kind of like, oh, because you already live in a better country than your country, you're not gonna stay there, or you don't have any bad business to do in here. And it's really annoying that they just judge me like that. I know it's their job, but it's kind of annoying. And
Yeah, I can imagine.
What did I do? And also you can see the other visa that I lived here too. So it's very annoying that like how they judge you. In the Netherlands, every time I come here, they're really nice though. They always ask me if I speak Dutch, and I'm like, "Een beetje," and then they proceed to full conversation in Dutch.
Exactly. I think they love that here.
It's really cute, and I understand quite a lot. So when I'm entering the country, they always ask me where I'm coming, and like if I was traveling or something. So that my basic Dutch can answer that.
Yeah, no, I get it.
So I respond in Dutch.
I think your Dutch is better than you think.
I understand quite a lot. I don't speak that much.
No, but I think you could speak more
if I force myself.
Yes.
It's really hard though.
I know with Spanish really, because I understand like quite a lot of Spanish, honestly. But like speaking is like next level.
Yeah, that's the difficult part. Yeah, I get it. So, with you being Dutch, do you ever cross your mind that you have a powerful passport, like that your passport actually is valuable?
I never even thought about it, honestly, before I really was with Javi. Because, okay, well, I mean, obviously I have like stories of like last minute having to request a visa.
Tell
and
us.
Okay, so yeah, one time, or when I was studying in Singapore for 6 months, I also went to like a lot of trips around, like I said in one of the previous episodes, to Cambodia, or this time I went to Vietnam. And for Vietnam, you need to request a visa. And even on the ticket, it says like, you know, one of those like super big exclamation marks, and like you need specific documents for this flight or for visiting this country, even for a couple of days. But I didn't see it, and so my parents at that time were in South Korea, because that's where my older brother was studying. So they were visiting him first. Then we were all meeting in Vietnam, and then they were coming with me to Singapore. So that was like the plan. So they had a flight from Seoul, to Vietnam.
Yeah.
And then I just had a flight by myself from Singapore to Vietnam. And their flight was supposed to be earlier than mine. And then they got to the airport, and I was still like sleeping in my bed in Singapore. And then they heard I couldn't get on the flight.
Yeah.
And then they called me, and then they were like, you might be on time, you need to request a visa right now, you know, in this moment. And it was already late, and it's like the later you do it, it was also more expensive.
Yeah.
So I had to pay like a shit ton of money, or I don't know, it was not that much, but like, you know, maybe 30 euros, but like compared to how it is there, it's like, it's pretty expensive. And yeah, they ended up getting a flight the next day. So I had to be there for like a day or like a night by myself, and that was really weird. But I was 20. I was not really, you know, used to being in a completely new country by myself. And I remember just that I was having like dinner in the hotel by
No.
myself, and I felt so sad.
Oh,
But I also
no.
liked it, but I also felt so sad, and I
Yeah.
felt awkward because it was the first time that I went to
Yeah.
like a restaurant like by myself.
Yeah. Oh, that's so sad.
Yeah,
But like,
later on I did it. Like
Yeah.
I can be alone very well, but
Yeah.
in that moment it was like one of the first times, so then it's
Yeah.
like different.
It is scary when you do it for the first time.
Yeah.
And in a country that you have never been in, the culture is so different.
Yeah, that was
It's
the thing a little
yeah.
bit, because it is okay. So I've been to Indonesia and everything, but Vietnam for me was very different because I was in Hanoi and it's just like super busy. And for some reason, the streets there to me look a little bit European, probably because of the French influence I have there. It's like the way they
Like the infrastructure, like how
yes,
they make it.
how they make the street. It's
Yeah.
like a building, a sidewalk, trees, road, trees, sidewalk, building. You
Yeah.
know? It's like here, like
Yeah.
literally like here.
Yeah.
So I was like, for me it was weird because I had been in Singapore for a few months, and then I was like, whoa, this looks European. I feel so weird. Yeah, that was super weird.
That is so weird, yeah.
But anyways, like I have my stories with visas, but
Yeah.
it's more like these last minute things, and you're like,
Yeah.
oh shit, I
And you
didn't
can
know
still
that.
get it last
and you
minute.
can still get it last minute.
Yeah.
And yeah, in those visa on arrival countries, you literally
Yeah.
just get there, you fill it in, and you're like done.
And then I said, yeah.
You know. But now that I wanted to take Javi somewhere, I had to look into it and be like, are there any countries that we can even go to? And I think there's a list of like 30 countries or something,
Yeah.
or 32 where he can go, like without a visa, so without issues.
Yeah.
And now we're going to Malaysia and Singapore because for those countries he doesn't need a visa.
Nice.
But like because we were both like, not completely sure, he still messaged the embassies and was like, "Hey, can I really go? I'm
Yeah.
Cuban. Is this really okay?"
Yeah.
It's like this. I don't know. It just feels this uncertainty or
Yeah.
something, or
And also like imagine you have this trip plan, but you search, you do everything,
yeah,
and then that day comes, and then you're like, oh
yeah, exactly.
shit, like I cannot go.
Yeah,
Like what do
Yeah.
you do then?
exactly. And like, because one of the things we are going to Borneo, and Borneo basically consists of Indonesia and Malaysia, both, and also Brunei is like a very small country. But we cannot just cross the border there.
Yeah, he cannot go to Indonesia.
No, like I could do that if I
Yeah.
wanted that, but he can, but he would need to, because honestly I wanted to take him to Indonesia because
Yeah.
I've been there so many times and I just love
Yes.
Bali.
And then we
Basic
love
Bali
Bali.
meisje is what they call me.
And we love Bali.
Yeah, basic Bali meisje.
Oh,
Um,
Bali.
But yeah, so I honestly wanted to take him there. But then I saw that if he wants a visa, he needs to pay like 250 euros or something, or US dollar, whatever. But like a shit ton of money. And that's
What?
not worth it to me, Then
No,
I will
it's
wait
not worth
5
it.
years until he has his Dutch passport or
Yeah.
whatever. So,
Oh, that's so expensive.
yeah.
Oh, I was so lucky. Well, talking about
What are
Bali.
your stories? Yeah.
Because I went to Bali last year. I love it. A moment of silence for Bali.
I know.
I miss it.
Oh, I love it so much, really.
But yeah, like when I love traveling, and I usually like to do like a big trip or like go to a place I've never been before, like at least once a year. And last year was Bali. Never been to Asia, but the first thing that I googled was like, do I need a visa?
yeah.
And if I need a visa, how long? Because it really, the process, it is annoying, but I'm like, I don't care doing it, like it's okay. But like, how long would it take me to do the whole process? And for Bali, it says that I could get a visa on arrival, or I can just buy it online and then just avoid the line in the airport. So I did
okay.
that.
Yeah.
I needed to pay like, I think $20 or $30. So I was like, that's fine. So I got it. And I fly there, I got there. Oh, also, that's another one. I had a layover in Dubai. So I also had to Google that. Do I need a visa for Dubai? Because it's not just a visa where you're going, but also where you stop.
But that is so crazy to me. This
Yes.
is something I never knew, right?
Yeah.
Like, if you have a transfer, you literally don't enter the country. So
Yeah.
why would you need a visa for just spending
Yeah.
3 or 4 hours or whatever it may be in,
Yeah.
in
So-
the airport somewhere?
In the airport. So, exactly. So for Dubai, because I was in kind of like international area in the airport, I didn't need anything.
Oh, okay.
But if I have to take another flight, like a domestic flight, or if I will just leave, then I will need a visa. But I did the same as Harry. I just Google. I was flying with Emirates.
You check it. You always check it.
I was flying with Emirates, which I know is like a very known airline.
Yeah.
So I measured them directly, like, hey, do I need this? I'm from Colombia, blah, 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 my passport. And they were like, no, you don't need to transit, to just stop and then go to another place. It's completely fine. So I was like, ooh, okay, that's fine. Because if I needed to go out, then I will need a visa. So then that's good. But then I got to Bali, and I went to like the security, like the immigration thing, and I got my passport, and they were like, oh, why do you have a visa? And I was like, what do you mean?
You were
why?
like, excuse me?
What do you mean? I was like, because I needed it to enter the country. They're like, oh no, but they removed that like a few weeks ago. And I was like, what do you mean a few weeks ago? And they're like, yeah, you don't need a visa anymore. And I was like, are you telling me I just wasted like $30? At least it wasn't that much. But I was like,
It's not that much money, but still,
But I
you
was
could
like,
have spent it on something else.
Yeah, I could have spent it in another like restaurant in Bali.
Exactly.
So yeah, that was like, okay. And now I know I don't need a visa, so I can go to Bali anytime. I want to
Yay.
go back, so.
Yay.
But yeah, but talking about transfers,
Yeah.
I have another story.
Yeah, tell us a story.
So 2 years ago, I went to Mexico, and on the way there, we stopped in the States and then Mexico, so it was fine. But on the way back, we were supposed to stop in Canada, just transfer, and it was a long stop. But and then I was like, oh, maybe we can go out and like go for one day, and then that's it. I think it was like 20 hours a stop or something like that.
Oh, okay.
It was a long stop. But I Googled it, and then somewhere I read that if you have an US visa, you can enter Canada.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, I'm fine, then I can do that. But then the closer it got to the trip, I have this feeling. I was like, let me check this again.
Yeah.
And I checked well, or like better, and I needed a visa to get out of the airport. And I was like,
Yeah.
but I was like, okay, let's just, then I don't get out of the airport. Like, I spend a whole day in the airport. That's fine. It's okay. It's fine. I needed a visa for just stopping by.
Yeah. That's so annoying.
And I was like, but I'm not leaving the airport. I'm just staying there. They're like, no, you need a visa. And I was like, okay, how long does it take me to take the visa? They're like, oh, it will take a few months. And I was already really close to the, like maybe like a month before the trip.
Yeah. Oh.
And I was like, you're kidding me. But I was like, okay, what are they gonna do? Because first we have from Cancun to, I think Toronto, I don't even remember. And I was like, well, what are they gonna do? Like, they're gonna be like, oh, send me home. And I'm like, well, I'm gonna go home anyways.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, I will figure it out later. I'll figure it out. So I did my trip to Mexico. Love it. Ate so many tacos. Delicious.
Yeah. Oh.
And like a few days before I was coming back, I was like checking that, and because the way I thought it was like, okay, I'm gonna fly and then they're gonna stop me in Canada because that's when they check all that documents.
Yeah.
And I was like, what are they gonna do? They're gonna send me home. But I'm like, well, I can just wait. I don't care if I have to wait in an office.
Yeah.
And then send me back to Amsterdam. I was like, I don't care.
Yeah.
But they were like, no, they check if you have all those documents before you even
So when
go
you
in the
leave,
plane.
Yeah.
And I was like,
Oh, nee.
so then I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna avoid this and find a flight from, I was in Cancun to Amsterdam that doesn't stop when I need a visa, which
Yeah.
Canada. So then I ended up buying a last minute ticket directly from Cancun to Amsterdam, which was really nice.
That's really nice though. But
And it actually wasn't that expensive. So I was surprised. I was ready to pay thousands, but it wasn't thousands, thankfully. I was like, oh,
Yeah.
surprised. I was very surprised. So then, yeah, I got on a flight like last minute. Like I bought it the day before I was leaving to Amsterdam back.
yeah.
But that was a pain in the ass.
Yeah. Honestly, I also like a couple years ago, I also had a layover in Canada.
Yeah.
I didn't even think about it. This is what I mean. Like I was also not aware of any
Yeah.
type of thing, but I didn't even think about maybe needing a visa or whatever. I just went and nothing happened. I had like a one night layover
Yeah.
So now that you're saying this, I just remember that.
Yeah. And you got out of the airport and everything.
Yes, I went to a hotel. I was alone though, and I went to the hotel, to like an airport hotel, because the next day I was flying.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, lucky European.
Privileged European.
We have this joke sometimes when I'm like hanging out with you, like with my friends, my European friends. When they complain about something, I'm like, oh, spoiled European, gee. But it's a joke with my friends.
It's a joke. It's a joke. We make a lot of jokes here.
They know what I mean. I love them. It's okay. Well, to finalize the podcast already, I was drinking that.
Yeah, you exactly.
I was drinking that. Well, to finalize the podcast, we also have another dilemma.
Yay.
Like last time.
Dilemma time.
Yeah. Which is, for example, when you get the citizenship in the Netherlands, you have to quit or revoke your citizenship. Depends the country. I think different countries have different rules. But for example, if I want to have a Dutch citizenship, I need to renounce to my Colombian citizenship. So the question, the dilemma is like, would you do that? Like, if you have the opportunity to have a more powerful passport,
Yeah, would you do it?
would you do it? Would you renounce to your citizenship or not? Like, what would you do?
So if I'm thinking about that list that we found, then the Netherlands is on 3.
Yeah.
The only country I can think of that, you know, we might move and stuff is Spain.
Yeah.
Which is on number 2.
Yeah.
So it would move me up.
Difference.
It would move me up from 3 to 2. I don't know if it's worth it.
Yeah.
It really depends on the circumstances. Like if we will both have a Dutch passport, then it could help us to have a Spanish citizenship if we want to buy a house or whatever, or stay long term, or that could have a benefit. But I don't know if it does.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that would make it that important for me.
Yeah.
Generally, I would say no, it doesn't matter to me.
Yeah, no.
You know? But it depends on the benefits it could have. Like, I don't know though. I don't know those.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I know that one of the really nice things to have an European passport is that you can work anywhere in Europe.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
Once you have an European passport, you are European and you can be there. Like, UK is different thing. Also, I have such a drama with that visa.
Yeah, UK is like, yeah.
But so that's a good benefit. Like, no matter which European passport you have, even though some of them are more powerful than others, like the Spain says number 2 and then Dutch is the 3rd. It's not that much different.
No, there's not that much reason.
You literally could go move to Spain.
I could do that, yeah.
Yeah, and work in there and be fine. Like, you don't need any extra.
No,
like, nothing. It's fine.
Yeah.
Which I think is really is really nice.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, in my case, like, I wouldn't mind giving up my Colombian passport. Like, the way I see it is like they would take the passport out. That's it. Like, they cannot take my nationality. Yeah, they will never take my nationality.
Yeah.
They never take care like where I was born and when I was raised.
No. Yeah.
I still have some rhythm and I speak Spanish.
Yeah, but some people are very attached to, you know.
Which is completely okay and respectful. Like, I understand, like, I feel like I'm love being Colombian and being Colombian, but also looking at my future, I don't see myself coming back.
No,
so
yeah, exactly.
It's also kind of like, what do you want in your life? Like, let's say if I was in a different position and I was like, oh, this is nice to be in Europe, but I want to come back, then I probably won't do that. But in my future, I see myself living here. So
yeah, exactly. So then there's no need.
I just need to learn Dutch. Well, no, learn, like, practice speaking Dutch.
Yeah.
That's what I need.
Yeah.
But then other than that, yeah, that's it for today.
Yes.
That'll be it for today. Remember to comment, like,
Share. Our friends need to share it more. They don't share it.
Yeah,
please.
we know. We know
who you are.
We know who you are.
No.
I know you're listening to this. And I know you. And share it with everybody. I want our friends that like listen to a podcast to share it in their social media.
Please.
Just say, please.
Yeah.
I will get you a chocolate. I will cook for you, please.
Oh.
Maybe I will cook for you. I don't know.
Maybe.
I might give you something if you share it. If I know you and I know you're listening. I know who you are. But yeah, share it, please. And
Have a nice week.
have a nice week. See you next time.
Bye.
Doei!